What's the most embarrassing cringy thing you've accidentally shown someone, or something they accidentally saw while using your phone or computer? Was talking to some cute girl, it was going well, and gave her my phone to add me on Facebook. Her profile was the first profile on the recent Facebook searches. I was out of curiosity checking out my friend's GF on Facebook, like not stalking her or sexualizing her. I met her once. She seemed nice. Wanted to see what she was all about. My friend knocked on my door and I answered and he came in my room and I just wasn't thinking about what I was doing because it was harmless. Then he saw my screen and was like, "Why the fuck are you checking out my GF?" Edit. We laughed about it. He knew I wasn't trying to double dip, but it was an awkward moment. Dude, what did you say? Did you manage to convince him it was innocent? Don't worry bro, I got your back. Just screening her for potential attack vectors. You never know who could be a potential terrorist threat. She checks out. That's almost as bad as when you screenshot something to make fun of the person. Then you accidentally send IT to the person you're trying to make fun of. LOL, done that plenty. You've done that more than once? Jeez, man. I was kind of on the flip side of this when my uncle was going through pictures of my baby cousin on his phone and swiped too far to show me a picture of my auntie standing completely naked in a doorway. The image is still burned into my mind. Oh man, that's traumatizing. Lol. At least it's not his dad. Father-in-law was looking at photos on my phone with me. I got a text from my wife that said, "I've been a naughty bitch. You need to come home and slap my ass." I turned to him and said, "What kind of daughter did you raise?" I learned that day. Turn off preview. 3. Do not joke about a man's daughter. LOL, please tell me you told her about it. In this case, I actually didn't. And he laughed after I said that. We didn't exactly high five, but he's pretty chill about the world. It makes for a funny story though. He's a good man. Lol. Way back when, I was playing a bunch of World of Warcraft. This was back when people were making funny machinima YouTube videos constantly, and I had them downloaded to my computer so I could show my friends. Then one day, I set up a very early version of Plex, video streaming software, on my computer, and I hook up my TV for a small party. Little did I know, Plex scans your media library and then runs out to the internet to find a cover image that Plex thinks matches your movies, so that you have a thumbnail to click when you want to watch that video. For some of my World of Warcraft YouTube videos, it found pictures of orcs and elves fucking, and threw that up on the screen. The girl I liked at the party. What the fuck is that? Me. Borderline speechless. I have no fucking idea. The worst part is playing dumb there makes you look guilty, but some things just weren't meant to be. I wasn't playing dumb. I honestly had no idea. I had just installed Plex hours before the party so we could watch movies on my TV, and I had no idea that Plex ran out to the internet to fetch thumbnails. After this incident, I started researching it to figure out what the fuck happened. Had the minister of my church at my house. He wanted to upload music from his laptop onto my Zune. Tells you when this was. He turns it on and the Zune immediately displays a topless picture of my fiancée, a girl he's known since birth, having been best friends with her parents. He just clears his throat and says, "I didn't see that." The rest of my time with him that day was incredibly awkward, but he never brought it back up again. Edit. To clear up any confusion, the picture was on my Zune that I had taken. The pastor knew nothing about it prior to seeing it. He is a good man and the Lord shall not condemn him for heresy. Not exactly accidental, but when I was 15 my mom was snooping through my phone and found a text that said, "I wish I could have a girl with boobs so big I could suffocate in them." That was a cool fun time for me. Handed my mom my phone to show her a picture of something or other. Didn't think. Next thing I know, she starts swiping. "Mom, you need to stop. Right now." Swipe. "Why? I never get to see your pictures." Swipe swipe. Stop. Attempt to grab phone. Look of horror on mom's face. Because I have pictures of my dick on there. My mother-in-law does this. Whenever I want to show her something I slightly zoom in on the image and it just moves it around instead of going to the next one. I've since learned of guided access on iPhone. A triple click of the home button, and the screen is disabled until you put in a passcode. I hit that button every time I hand my phone to anyone now. Dude I used to lift with. His phone is face up on the floor next to the bench bar. Literally every day at the gym she'd be texting pics of everything. What's funnier is she'd be texting him, "Come home to have this," and he'd just keep lifting. It was odd. "Sorry babe. Pecs need to be poppin' so the panties keep droppin'. But you already have a girlfriend. Lifts." A friend was showing us his holiday pictures and accidentally swiped too far and showed us all a selfie of his arsehole, then one of his balls when he tried to fix it. One of my friends sent a picture of his arsehole and nuts to a Snapchat group, and in return another guy sent one back. I've seen photos of the ball sacks of more friends of mine than I'm fully comfortable with due to stuff like this. I went skydiving with a group of buddies. The first guy out of the aircraft got a badass slow-mo video of us all coming out of the plane after him on his GoPro. Naturally we all wanted a copy of the video. He left us his GoPro to plug into our laptops as he went to grab his stuff out of his car. If you've never used a GoPro before, you know when you plug it into your computer every file pops up with little thumbnails. The first guy to copy the video can't help but notice what looks like a naked girl in one of the videos. He stupidly clicks on it. It turned out to be our buddy with his current GF, and he was giving her the most violent porn-worthy throat fucking you ever saw. And to top it off, after about 5 seconds he stops, yanks her head back and hawks up a big loogie and spits it in her mouth. We all fucking lost it. We couldn't stop laughing and he turned it off just in time before he came back inside. He ended up marrying her and we could never look at either of them the same ever again. Lol. This comment was a wild ride. In my younger years working in desktop support, we had a guy complaining that his computer was running slow. It was literally full of horse porn. This was back in the 90 MHz Pentium days and long before people had anything better than a 56K baud modem in their house. I had to show my boss and point out that obviously, this guy was using company bandwidth. We had a fractured T1 at the time that we paid out the nose for, to download non-work related material onto his company laptop, clearly in the office. This was also the same dude who got caught putting breast milk in his coffee, so there may have been a few issues there. The same dude who got caught putting breast milk in his coffee, was this his partner's milk that he borrowed? Or was he stealing from co-workers pumping at work? Because one of these is way more wrong. Yeah, if it's your partner's or your own, I feel like it's okay. I ran out of milk for my coffee when I was still breastfeeding, so I used my own. I kind of want to ask my mother if she did this and if it's a common thing women do, except that my internal cautionary voice is yelling, hell no, don't ask that. You should listen to that voice. Me and my friends played this game in high school where we'd send each other the most vile, disgusting images we could find. We would all be playing Xbox, get bored, and someone would send some nasty shit to indicate the game has begun. We'd stop once everyone agreed that the last thing sent couldn't be topped. It almost always devolved into porn of various pop culture icons, usually in video games or cartoons. One time, my uncle called me in the middle of this game. We chat, and he asks to speak to my mom. I give my mom the phone, completely forgetting about what's happening. I go back to my Xbox, hear my troglodyte friends giggling about what they are sending, and start looking for my phone. Oh, fuck. I run downstairs after I remember that Pandora's box of animated atrocities is opening up in my mother's ear right now. As I turn the corner, we lock eyes. Shock and disgust. She turns the phone to me, and on the screen, clear as day, is an image of Wario in a BDSM leather suit farting on a nude Princess Peach. I took the phone and never said a word. Never heard a word about it either. I went back upstairs, and kept playing the game. Pandora's box of animated atrocities that made me laugh out loud. Thank you. I was helping a man with some kind of intellectual impairment download a Bible app onto his phone. I had to go into his browser to search something for him, and it was all porn. About 50 tabs open, each showing what term he'd put into Google, and the search terms were the kind that a 10-year-old would use. I finished getting him the app and attempted to peace out, although not before having to tactfully decline giving him my phone number. When I sold cell phones, there was a guy that always came into the store. He had a picture of a girl spread eagle as his lock screen wallpaper. He always tried to get one of the female salespeople to help him. After the first time he came in, they would all run to the back when we saw him walking up. Myself and the other guys would have to listen to him about the hot little piece of ass he had the day prior. That would be when my sister saw my vag. We recently reconnected. We had been estranged because of my absolutely insane mother. We were laughing, talking, just generally catching up on 20 years of life, and of course we were showing one another pictures of our family's houses, friends. I thought, oh, I'll pull up Google Photos because then she can just open albums and see each person or whatever all at a time, and I forgot that one of the albums is called Naughty and Google Photos chose a very naughty pic for the album cover despite my begging it to choose another. I had the app open to an album of kid pics when I handed it over. She closed the album, swiped to see what other albums she wanted to look at, and I heard, oh. She told her fiance we got to know one another really well in that first meeting. During college my girlfriend worked night shifts, so I would sometimes crash at her place, that way I'd be there when she got off in the mornings. One night our roommates had a few people over to drink and I, being alone, decided to crank one out. Spent about 3 to 5 minutes watching some material, wondering why the audio wouldn't work on my phone. Then I hear an eruption of laughter from the kitchen. It was a small apartment. Turns out I was the last one that connected to the Bluetooth speaker they were using and was blasting my porn audio to an apartment full of people. I have never been so embarrassed in my life, and I lay there for what felt like an eternity afterwards listening to them all die laughing. Heard enough stories about this scenario where I always turn my Bluetooth off before I watch porn. Older man caught me looking at boobs on my phone during a bus ride home. I quickly scrolled up, realizing that I was in public. He leaned over and said, "Hey, we can share." Got off 3 stops before my own. The guy probably thought it was hilarious. The old dude just wanted to show off photos of his own boobs. I shared a link to my photographer friend's website on Facebook after she and I did a project together. I painted some models. She took the photos. What I forgot was that there was also a page of nude photos of me from a photoshoot I had modeled for. I'm not exactly shy about nudity, but I also didn't mean to show off those pics to everybody I knew. I also once sexted nudes and dirty requests to my dad instead of my BF in a drunken mistake. That's gotta be the absolute worst person for a girl to accidentally sext. Lol. How'd he take it? I woke up the next morning to a reply that said we need to talk. When I ended up getting the courage to talk to him, he just sat me down and talked to me about the dangers of sending pics like that. Though now we can talk about that kind of stuff casually, and we sometimes look back at the incident and laugh.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching the video. If you liked what you just saw, remember to leave a like down at the bottom. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see a couple videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.